everyone, welcome back to the GRE How To Series, where we make studying for the GRE a whole lot more tolerable. Today we're going to go over GRE vocabulary and learn 10 new words, so stay tuned. I hope you all enjoyed the 1 month update. I'm starting to feel pretty energized and empowered on the GRE study journey, and I think it just has to do with getting more reps and getting the schedule down and sensing progress. I have been going over my practice test and looking at what I could have gotten correct or will be able to get correct in my next go around, and looking at the kinds of mistakes that I've been making so I can keep an eye on that for future tests. So I'll probably be taking a Manhattan Prep practice test soon, so stay tuned for a review on that. One thing I've learned from studying for the GRE is, and I never thought that I would say this, I think that the quantitative portion is actually going to be easier than the verbal portion for me, which is weird because that's just not in my mind space, or at least it wasn't originally, because I thought I was stronger on the verbal. I am still strong, but what I'm realizing is I'm learning a lot of stuff, but it all has to do with how to take the test. The fact of the matter is, for the quantitative portion, at least I get to benefit from the fact that I have actually learned some of these concepts before, way back in the distant past. But it's just, it just needs to be dusted off a little bit, just dust it off, and at least it's in the recesses of my brain, so I don't have to worry about learning too much from scratch, except geometry. We'll have to talk about that later because I need some help on geometry. But when I contrast that to verbal, yes, I know English, it's my native language, and yes, I can do pretty well at guessing on some words that look alike, and I have a decent vocabulary. But there are words that I've never ever seen before in my entire life, and I'm going to have to learn them. So now I'm going to start some GRE vocabulary videos because there's no shortcuts around it. You have to learn these new words and internalize them so that you can have your best shot on doing well on the GRE. So I am a big believer in candy coating my medicine, so I'm going to talk about really cool things that I care about and things that I shouldn't care about, but I got captivated by, like the royal wedding this weekend. And I'm gonna sprinkle in a little bit of those common GRE words so that we can be prepared for the test. So let's talk about the royal wedding, shall we? I honestly did not plan on watching that, and I just got sucked in. Anyway, Harry and Meghan are married now, and they are the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Harry is the sixth in line for the throne, so unless there's a horrible happenstance or Prince Charles, Prince William, and all of his kids abdicate the throne, we won't see King Harry. In an anomalous fashion, Meghan walked herself partway down the aisle, and I felt at home when Bishop Michael Bruce Curry started preaching. He didn't abridge his sermon for the occasion. He shared an axiom about the power of love. Wasn't that nice? Now, I had to stop it right there because I kept on getting into this rabbit hole of the royal wedding, and I just needed to actually study for the GRE. So, so I snuck 4 words in there: abdicate, anomalous, abridge, and axiom. Take a minute and maybe even re-watch the narrative to see if you can figure out what the meaning of some of those words are. All right, so abdicate kind of means relinquish or to give up officially. Anomalous just means something that is unorthodox, something that is different. So think of anomaly, it's something that's definitely not like the others. Abridge is to cut shorter. That's probably a word that you may or may not have heard in some kind of context, like an abridged Bible, just shorter. And axiom. Axiom you can think of like a truth or a commonly held truth. All right, so now that we've gotten the royal wedding fix and maybe we want that far away from us, let's talk about Rihanna, because I don't think you could ever get tired of talking about Rihanna. Rihanna didn't need to disabuse the perception that she was pregnant. She loves her body and she doesn't care what we think. Her ability to slay is incontrovertible, and I question the judgment of anyone who says otherwise. I love her aesthetic, and I'm so happy that she encapsulates her dauntless style in Fenty Beauty. While the price tag of the cosmetic will not appeal to the parsimonious fans, they are not excessively cost prohibitive. Rihanna has also leveraged her preponderance into creating a lingerie line called Savage by Fenty. I love that she is diversifying her portfolio. I mean, Rihanna's doing so well right now. It's so awesome. Okay, so I snuck in some words in there as well. Disabuse, incontrovertible, aesthetic, dauntless, parsimonious, and preponderance. Now, even in this narrative, I was able to sneak in some clues to try to help you build the context to probably guess what those words mean. Why don't you rewind real quick, listen to it again, and see if you can guess the meanings of these words. All right, so disabuse is, you can think of it as like debunk or try to clear up a misconception. There was a lot of rumors that Rihanna was pregnant after she gained weight, and it's just like, people gain weight. And she's still hot. She's probably even more beautiful. So like, get over it. Incontrovertible, you can also think of that as indisputable. You know, in this narrative, I say that I challenge someone's judgment if they think otherwise. And that is your kind of hint that means that, oh, this is something that is probably indisputable. That's a nice placeholder for that word. Aesthetic is a more common word. If you wanted to think of it in a more colloquial term, it's like vibe or essence. Oh, hello, there are alarms. All right, where was I? So aesthetic, colloquially, you can kind of think of vibe, but for the context of the GRE, think of it as things relating to beauty. Dauntless, you can think of that as another word for fearless. And when you think about Rihanna, like dauntless, fearless, awesomeness, I mean, those are definitely words that I think about when I think about her. Parsimonious, that is a big word for price sensitive or very, 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 very frugal. So if you go back to the narrative, you heard that I had kind of a hint that talks about the fact that it's not cost prohibitive, but people who love her but are very, very frugal probably won't buy Fenty Beauty because you can buy Wet n Wild or NYX or something like that. And lastly, preponderance means something of superiority or weight. So I used it like her celebrity and her influence. I see that as something that is her importance and her weight and her ability to be able to influence the world. So preponderance is a very big word that fits for her influence. So there you go. You have learned 10 new GRE words that may show up on the test, and you did it by talking about the royal wedding and Rihanna. Like, this is exciting. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and let me know what you want to talk about so I can weave the GRE words within the narratives. Also, I found some really great flashcards that have a lot of the common GRE words on Quizlet. So I'm going to put the link for the flashcards in the descriptions below. If you have any other questions or any other things that you want me to cover, please let me know. I love hearing from you. And if you missed the last video or on the 1 month update, click up here and you will be able to see that.